Good, bright and beautiful Monday, the 5th of April, 2021. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith here at GardenStateWeather.com, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Here's our beautiful purring cat and some of the beautiful birds here just hanging out with Mama Cat. This is really cool to see, indeed. And we'll begin this morning at about 10:45, where the latest extremes here in the New Jersey Weather Network's sites here. Sicklerville is at 60. Cape May Courthouse, beautiful 60 degrees right now. Woodbine at 60, 59 here in West Deptford. And the cool spots here at about High Point Monument at about 47. Everybody else is now in the 50s. New Brunswick's also at 59 degrees. The Rutgers University Meteorology Program that provides us with this information. We thank you very much for being a part of our weather society out there. Let's take a look at the latest temperatures. It's about 52 at High Point, and other temperatures are generally in the 50s. Even at the coast, temperatures are rising into low and mid 60s across the Delaware River Valley area. And if we took a look at the satellite, visible satellite, there's not a cloud in the sky. It is absolutely gorgeous out. Well, there's a few clouds here over southeastern Pennsylvania, but all of New Jersey, the New York City metropolitan area, up the Hudson River Valley, up to New York, through the Thruway, and into Connecticut, nothing, nary a cloud in the sky. And the water vapor channel is the reason why. We have sinking and compression of the air mass in place, so all of this is very dry air. Let's see if we can go back here. Wrong spot. Let's see if we can go back here. Yeah. And take a look at all this dry sinking air here in the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area. And there's a couple of disturbances here in the polar jet, but none of this is really producing any widespread precipitation across the country. If we looked at the composite radar, there's a few showers and thunderstorms around the Great Lakes area. We'll get into that in a minute. But everybody else pretty much high and dry. So precipitation around the Gulf area is very light, almost undetectable. A little bit here in the Intermountain West here and into portions of California, but everything just, looks really, really nice around here. And we'll get into the dual pole. There's nothing really to get into here because there's nothing going on. National temperatures within the last hour, 10 o'clock Eastern time here in the eastern United States. Temperatures are generally running in the 50s, 60s, even in Florida. Temperatures are in the 60s this morning, but that is all going to show you Florida right now. Florida looks nice, 72. And West Palm Beach, where my friends are located, Miami at 72. It's spring break still there. 69 here at Port St. Lucie. And it looks good up in Orlando at about 69. Tampa, they have that water main break there, the contamination there. But the weather is absolutely fabulous. 68 degrees this morning at about 10 a.m. Eastern Coast time. And back into the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area we go once again, and temperatures are climbing into the mid and upper 50s around the region. 24-hour temperature change here in the New Jersey area. We're up about 5, 6, 7 degrees in the last 24 hours, and that's good. Okay, Pivotal Weather's saying that they're addressing a failure at their primary host, the European model and all of the other models. Maps available on time. The GFS maps are available on delayed schedule. Well, we won't be using that. Start off with the national hazards here. We pull this up off the California coast here. Small craft advisories in effect until midnight Tuesday night. Also portions of Seattle here. Into the Intermountain West, we have what appears to be red flag warnings. If these show up, it's not showing up now. I don't understand why. It says there's no active warnings here, but there are. Hold on. Flood watches across the Mississippi, Tennessee River Valley area here for the rivers and tributaries here that have received the most rain over the last several days. And these are red flag warnings across North and South Dakota. Winter storm watches here, believe it or not, in Montana and Wyoming here. And let's see. Red flag warnings across New Mexico and Arizona, and across Utah, Colorado, portions of Nevada. You get the picture. National surface chart here from weatherroanoke.com. This morning at about 10:18, when they do this on the hour, should be updating shortly. within the next 20 minutes or so. Here's that quasi-stationary front here that's draped across the Ohio River Valley area back into the Great Lakes, where we have some shower and thunderstorm activity, and into the occlusion of the front here across the upper Midwest and the Dakotas this morning, and that frontal area also stretching back into the northern Nevada and California this morning. Lots of high pressure here. Storm system off the Labrador coast here. High pressure across the southeast, and it looks really nice out there. Well, it's this line of showers and thunderstorms around Detroit area this morning, and we've had some reports of hail around Clarksville, about 1/4 of an inch here, and also about 1/2 of an inch in diameter of hail here, reported with the previous. This is where the line of showers and thunderstorms is now. This is a report of hail from these storms that are now getting into Annapolis and Detroit here, just outside of Detroit here, moving southeast or slowly. Some wind advisories here around Chicago, not surprising. And we had snow reports here in New Brunswick and in portions of Maine over the last 24 hours. Picked up a couple of inches, 2.7 inches in around Denham, and about 3 inches or so. So, winter's holding on here. And we do have some lightning around Milwaukee area outside of northeast of Chicago here into the Great Lakes. And of course around just west of Detroit here, there's some thunder and lightning going on around Kalamazoo here and also in portions of Michigan. Everybody has allergies right now, seeing the budding on the trees ahead of time here across the New Jersey, New York City, Philadelphia I-95 corridor here. It's about a couple of days ahead of schedule here. And the bloom, this is the spring leaf index, is running very high across the Central Plains and across portions of the Southwest here, obviously, and all the way into Alabama and Georgia. Let's see if we pull this one off. I don't know where we are here. Let's pull this one off and let's do the spring bloom index. And that's going to take us into the area right now. And of course, allergies are running high. Current allergies today, 10.6. That's high. Maple and juniper. 5-day forecast here. Looking at the regional area here, if this will show up. And it's always a problem with this website. Pollen.com. A little scatterbot this morning with the allergies going on, and they are on the high side for the rest of this week. Ugh. Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk of severe thunderstorms across the upper Midwest, including Minnesota into northwestern Wisconsin for today, for late this afternoon and evening. Went into day 2. That now shifts into the Central Plains. Thunderstorms in central and eastern Kansas and western Missouri along that stationary front. Severe thunderstorms possible. Portions of central Great Plains into western Ozark Plateau late Tuesday afternoon through Tuesday night. Let's take a look at day 3. And this shifts even further to the south now. There's a slight risk of severe thunderstorms for the Arklatex area into the lower Mississippi Valley. And isolated severe storms possible further north over the middle Mississippi Valley area as well. And this will be valid on Wednesday afternoon into early Thursday morning. Day 4, not showing up. National Weather Service's digital database for the New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia I-95 corridor looking really nice out there, spectacular in fact. Temperatures in the 60s, mid and upper 60s to even around 70 in the I-95 Philadelphia, southwestern New Jersey corridor this afternoon. Same thing really much on Tuesday, not much of a change. Cooler right along the immediate coastline, again, which is normal at this time of the year given the water temperatures versus the air mass and the drying subsidence in the upper levels of the atmosphere over the ground and land areas. Temperatures on Wednesday again in the mid and upper 60s. There's not a lot of change here on Thursday either. Temperatures a little cooler right along the immediate coast, but away from the water and the southeast ends of Long Island here. Temperatures are generally running in the mid and upper 60s, which is gorgeous for this time of the year. Things cool down a little bit with onshore flow and then rain coming in for the weekend. Friday right now is mainly with an onshore flow. We have temperatures back into the upper 50s to around 60, and that same pattern revolves itself around here on Saturday, and same thing on Sunday. So we're going to be several degrees above normal here over the next couple of days, about 10, 12 degrees above normal, which is not bad for this time of the year. I mean, we're really into a really fantastic start here. By the time we get to Friday, that's where temperatures drop down, especially right along the coast with the onshore flow, and then further inland over the weekend. You know, not really that cold. I mean, you know, 1 or 2 degrees below average. Not bad at all. Taking a look at the European model guidance for the next 10 days. Here's our upper level low this morning south of Labrador. Northwest convergent and confluent flow here over most of the country here, especially from the Great Lakes east to off the northern mid-Atlantic coastline. And that means drying and sinking air is in place here. That low just like kind of wobbles around. We still have that confluent and convergent flow of the atmosphere. Low pressure areas get stuck off and cut off at this time of the year, and that's exactly what's happening here across the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes area as we head into the next couple of days. There's not a lot of energy support to bring any kind of meaningful rainfall into the east coast of the United States because of all of the blocking that's occurring. And downstream of these storm upper level lows here across the Midwest and plain states here is a confluent and convergent flow, and that is not supportive of rainfall in this area. And by the next 10 days, here's an upper level low here off the California, Mexican Baja coast, and another one again hanging around the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest here. And again, it's a very convergent and confluent flow across this area here, the northern mid-Atlantic and New England states, so we're really not too impressed with anything in terms of major weather. If we wanted to take a look at precipitation, and we can do that. We're going to do this now. Hold on 1 second. European models, global here, a national total column water vapor over the next 10 days. The busiest areas here are going to be with the upper level low and the southern branch of the subtropical jet stream pumping in lots of moisture here. This looks like a big thunderstorm outbreak here coming on Thursday across the Central Plains here, which we just got into in the Mississippi and Tennessee River Valley area. That looks good. Look at all the dry air, though, over the eastern United States with subsidence and the upper level low. And it shows up on the water vapor channel too, increasing across the southeast. This looks like another busy day on Saturday across Mississippi and Tennessee River Valley area, all the way down to Louisiana. But very dry air for most of the northeast here and the mid-Atlantic coast states. And looks like that's going to continue because the blocking pattern is going to stay in place. And that means that anything that tries to come into the northeastern United States is going to have a very tough time. And you can see precipitable water values here are just too dry. Weather Prediction Center's 7-day precipitation nationally here. It's wet across Oregon and the Aleutian Islands here, also into the Intermountain West. Main areas of wetness here, southern Canada, south of Hudson's Bay, into the Great Lakes area here, where we could be receiving several inches of rainfall. Across the southeast too, disconnecting between the polar branch here and the subtropical branch here. But if you looked at this area here in the northeast, not that impressive at all. We're dealing with like a couple of tenths of an inch of rain. Let's get into, we're in the wrong place here. Let's get back to this and do New Jersey local over the next 10 days. This is what you're seeing. Nothing, practically nothing in precipitation. We'll take a look at the Mid-Atlantic Rivers forecasting stages area, New Jersey aerial departure maps here. From the first of the year through now, we're still below average in many places, excepting the coast and southwestern New Jersey. if we looked into the beginning of the month until the 3rd, this is the 5th today, but it's not updated because of the holiday weekend. We're running just slightly below here. Actually, if you ask me, it's about 75% below for where it should be for the month so far. Let's take a look at the 30-day mean. Still about 25 to 50% below average here in the northern and central regions here. And let's see if we can pull this up. The 90-day mean, let's do 180 days. Doesn't look too bad, but we're not in a drought, but definitely have to be monitoring this. Back to pivotal weather, we're going to use the NAM model guidance here. And here's the showers and thunderstorms across the Great Lakes diving southeast. But notice the upper level low off of the coast here of southern New England and Labrador. And we have a convergent and confluent flow here. So these showers and thunderstorms, as they die off to the south and east. And anything that tries to get in here is not happening. It's just not. Very dry forecast here. And again, looking at the NAM model's guidance is a water vapor channel here for precipitable water values. It's very bone dry here with that upper level low off of Labrador and Maine's coast here out into the Atlantic. It's subsidence and convergence. And notice that anything that is happening over the Great Lakes and Detroit is being shunted all the way down through the Virginias. And what a sharp cutoff this is on Wednesday. Look at all that dry air over eastern Pennsylvania and the New England states here. So, you know, parts of Delaware may be a little bit wet, but even that is questionable. Yeah, I mean, it's trying, but it's not getting in here. So, you know, we're dealing with nothing. Water vapor soundings showing very, very, very dry air here and very wet conditions in the water vapor channel over the Great Lakes and south and west, but not here. And this will give you an idea here from the European model guidance, taking us all the way to Thursday, the 15th of the month, which is supposed to be tax day, but that's been extended into May, I believe. Look where it's really wet here. And notice here, it's nothing because of the blocking that's in place. And I wanted to see if I can take a look at this. Hold on. Onto the teleconnections, all model guidance here from last night. That's the European Ensemble, the NCEP GFS, the NCEP GFESS, GEFS. The Korean model, the Canadian model, slightly negative here through the middle of the month, starting out with below normal heights here, near normal here, below here. Not out of the woods yet, but definitely doesn't look like a stormy pattern here. Even though the NAO is negative rather than positive, but look, the GFS is definitely the outlier here because the GFS is calling for this to happen into a positive state, and all the other model guidance is in the negative climbing to neutral. So there's definitely there must be a problem here with the new GFS model that's been updated recently too. So we're going to stay away from that. The Arctic oscillation, primarily again, the GFS and the Ensemble GFS is having a big problem with all of this, where all the other model guidance is saying positive. So, you know, that's where the polar vortex is located around the North Pole here, right along the Arctic Circle where it should be. The PNA, well, PNA is all over the place. You would want the PNA to be here where the GFS says, but it's really neutral. West to east flow here. So I'm not seeing any kind of like really strong support here. The PNA right now is in the tank, which means that we have more troughing in the west coast and more ridging in the east. So, you know, we'll see how things work out. Well, that's going to do it for this afternoon. my allergies are shot. But this is just a beautiful picture where the birds are hanging out and nesting on Mama Cat. For everything live, it's GardenStateWeather.com and also on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith. You have a fantastic week ahead, and especially this Monday afternoon, and we'll be back in touch with you very shortly.